Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet Can Opening Noise. My name is, we're talking movies and comics and TV shows. My name is James, also known as Mr. Sunday. And with me, as always, my co-host, Nick Mason.
It's great to be here. Now, as you were saying that, I was moving my microphone stand a little bit and made a little bit of noise. I don't know if it was reflected in the recording.
I hope
but
not.
I'm wondering, could that be my signature thing?
Yeah.
Like as you're doing doing the intro, I could just be like... Sounds like the TARDIS taking off. We're going off on a podcast adventure, James.
Isn't that cancelled or something? Aren't they cancelling it?
Are they? Maybe.
I heard they might take it. There was a rumor they're going to pause
okay.
it for like 5 years. And I think if the ratings are flagging, yeah, probably.
I mean...
I've been enjoying the new season.
I watched the last season.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, also, I get because it's on Disney Plus, right? And Disney
Yeah.
are partially funding it.
Something like that, yeah.
Which is why it looks good now.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked pretty good. Like the newer seasons look pretty good. But
Pretty
I mean,
good.
compared to Disney Plus,
Yeah,
come
my
on, man.
God,
Come
yeah.
on, man. Are we going back to the BBC funding
God,
this?
yuck.
You know what I mean?
Everything looks like The Office. Just a grey room.
Right?
Rose, we got to get out of this grey room.
Oh, well, if we go through that door, there's another grey room that looks a lot like this room in a reverse shot. Should we go through the door?
I think so.
Anyway, the TARDIS is here.
How have we never noticed that?
I mean, we're really. It's because we've been in this room for a long time and madness has taken hold and we're just searching for anything that will provide a respite from
That's a
the
great
normalcy
point.
of doing a podcast.
Would the movie The Monkey provide that for you? Speaking of, do you want to talk about that this week?
Let's talk about The Monkey this week.
Yeah, but we've got some news we've got to get to beforehand. Big news week, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the thing about Amazon and MGM and now they got all the Bond rights?
No, that's news to me. Just kidding, I did see it.
Fantastic.
And I saw the discourse.
Fantastic.
Fantastic, right? Nothing better than the discourse.
I agree. We're going to talk about some cancelled Marvel shows that could still happen, but they're cancelled for now.
Including one where it's like, they were going to make that?
I didn't know that. Terra.
It's Terra Incorporated.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Uh-huh.
We're going to talk about the release of Daredevil Born Again and the kind of the structure of how they're doing that.
Punches.
And then the direction of Marvel Television, because that's
Okay.
getting a bit of a shift. Marvel Rivals, they fired a bunch of people.
They did, and isn't that... anyway, I'm outside the video game loop, but if we played it...
Yeah.
For a big sandwich
Then
as a
it's-
bonus content, then it must have been pretty
something
big,
happened.
right? It must have been notable
If it
enough.
got to us.
If it got to us, it must have been a big deal. This
Yeah.
thing, and it was. It was a big. It is and
continues
remains
to be.
But they fired the American.
It's for efficiency, Mason.
Crew. Yeah, okay, it sure is.
James Gunn and Zack Snyder had a photo together. What does
Sure
that
did.
mean? Maybe nothing.
Maybe nothing. Maybe big things.
Maybe. And
Maybe James Gunn was like, you know what would upset a lot of people?
Yeah.
If we took this photo, and he's
and we
like,
kissed.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, all right. Do that.
who knows? We'll talk about it. And then we're going to talk about the Clayface spin-off solo movie. For those people who don't know, Clayface is a Batman villain. He's getting his own movie. We'll talk about that's got a director and a synopsis. And we can talk about all of those things, Mason.
And then the monkey.
That's right.
Big couple of years for monkeys in Hollywood.
I agree.
They've learned.
Betterman.
Yes. I was going to say they've learned
Planet
that
of Ape.
they've learned what from the comics industry in the 50s and 60s that you put an ape on
Yeah.
something, except it hasn't worked in a lot of instances.
Wicked.
Better
Monkeys
man.
in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Monkey City, mate.
It's Monkey City.
There's time codes below if you do want to jump to anything in particular, but I think everybody wants to hear this. Amazon and everybody wanted to hear me do that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Amazon and MGM have been granted the creative rights to all things James Bond.
I mean, people over at Amazon are like, Amazon, that's genius. Amazon Plus. Amazon Plus MGM. Amazon Plus.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think we're all onto something here, Mason. So longtime producers, Wilson, what's his name, Wilson?
It's, God, I had
Barbara Broccoli
Barbara
and
Broccoli.
someone Wilson.
Martin Wilson?
Yeah.
Martin
sure.
G. Wilson?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to remain...
That's the MG and MGM.
Oh, really?
Martin G.
Martin
Wilson.
G. Wilson. They're going to remain co-owners of the franchise. So Cubby Broccoli, who was Barbara Broccoli's father, he had creative control prior to that.
Yeah, we even talked about this quite recently. That,
Yes.
That
They weren't happy with what MGM and Amazon were pitching in terms of like the future of the franchise.
And we talked about how even though MGM has owned, it's been a subsidiary of Amazon since 2022.
Yeah.
They aren't just simply allowed to make James Bond things, even though all the James Bond stuff has gone through MGM, because there is a contractual issue with Eon Productions that they have to have a say in everything.
Yeah.
And they're quite, or they have been quite tight with the
Protective,
old,
yeah.
quite protective with the the IP
Which-
for making of the
yeah,
content,
which-
but clearly something's changed, and
It's a big check.
it's $1 billion changed hands.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it is. I mean,
We don't know the exact figure, right?
No, we don't.
Yeah.
No money was mentioned at all. But yeah, we did talk about this a few weeks ago, and apparently Barbara Broccoli was like, "These guys are morons. They don't know what they're doing or what they're talking about." So if that was true,
Yes.
and regardless if it was or not, this is a big check situation.
Michael G. Wilson.
Michael
G. Wilson.
G. Wilson.
Wilson.
G. Wilson.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think there has been. I fucking hate this, obviously.
Yes, of
but I
course.
think in terms of creative output, it's probably going to be about the same.
Oh, you think so?
And by that I mean Bond has always been a mixed bag.
Yes, that's true. All Bond fans know
Yep.
they're all a mixed bag.
Yes.
And a lot of them wouldn't pass muster these days in terms of like,
A guy walking down a hallway to answer a phone.
sure, or a guy dressing in yellow face.
Yeah.
Or a guy using a woman as a human shield. Same movie, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Or,
I think they could probably still do that.
They could probably still do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, a lot of the Bond stuff is very reactive. It's like what is
Exactly.
popular at the time. You know, Star Wars is popular, so you send Bond to space, et
Yeah.
cetera, et cetera.
The Dark Knight, now he's got a villain who lets himself be captured and has a plan.
That's
and et
exactly
cetera,
right. Yeah. I think the output's going to increase, certainly.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that will be, I think, a major problem because we're probably going to get Q spin-off series.
MI6,
yeah.
Moneypenny spin-off
Money
series.
Penny Origin.
I mean, you know what? I bet they had a discussion. There was a meeting in Amazon where they went, look at all these spin-off comic books.
Yeah.
Like there's the Moneypenny spin-off, there's the Felix Leiter spin-off, there's the Q spin-offs, etc.
As-
Young Bond.
I mean, those are-
Young Moneypenny.
so many of them are good, but I can't imagine they're profitable. Or they do big numbers, I should say, for like... It's
No,
not Marvel or DC or Star
No,
Wars.
I'm sure they do okay.
Yeah.
But
A lot of it is good, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I would imagine they've just looked at this and said, look at the concepts, look at what we're
Look at the
leaving on the table.
content.
Look at the content.
Look what we're doing to Lord of the Rings.
Exactly. Look at all the content we're leaving on the table. Every single one of these characters could have a long backstory and a long running streaming series where Q finally picks up his first gadget right at the end of the series.
Yeah.
Like he's like, how can I'm not very good at this. I'm not very good at this secret agent stuff. And he tries to be a secret agent for like 10 episodes. And then the last 10 minutes of the last episode, he's like, oh, if I put a radio and a pen. And they're like, you found your calling, Q.
Well done, Q.
You found your calling, Quentin.
Whoa.
Quentin.
Quarantino.
Quarantino. He's like, please call me Q. Tarantino.
Quarantino.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think...
That first pitch is free, by
Yeah.
the way.
Yeah, yeah,
Amazon.
yeah.
The rest of them, if you want a Moneypenny pitch or a Rory Kinnear's character pitch,
Yeah.
you got to pay us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
God.
We got the juice and you do not have the juice. You're going to try to do it with AI and it's not going to work?
No, it's going to be
But
bad.
We're
going to do a good one. Yeah, look, I'm not saying this is good. Again, like I just think it'll be an increase in content, and some of it will be
Yum.
good and some of it will be bad. I mean, I think I like the Daniel Craig era. I don't think they're all great movies.
Mhm.
I would say it's probably half good.
But that's the strike rate of most of the Bonds, honestly.
yeah. I think that half is if you can get half
including
good.
George Lazenby, who had one.
Yeah, he probably did have.
Half of that's really
That's
good.
probably true.
Yeah.
And I know there's also been talk of like, well, this means now Bond will go woke or whatever. And look, if you think that, you need to, first of all, pull the fucking nail out of your head. But like, we've already had these conversations previously surrounding the previous owners of James Bond.
Yes.
I think they're just going to do whatever algorithmically works, or somebody will hit them with an incredible pitch.
Yeah.
It'll be one of those or
Yeah.
both.
When you look at the
Which doesn't, again, mean it's going to be good.
No, absolutely not. When you look at the output of Amazon generally,
Yeah.
like on the one end you get like maybe The Boys,
Yes.
which is certainly heavy-handed, but it's certainly fun and entertaining, and we like that, and it's got a lot of character to it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you get stuff like The Terminal List, which is, what is it?
What is it?
What is that?
You're on the terminal list. That's interesting.
That is interesting that I'm on the terminal list. Do I get a gun? You do, and a baseball cap. Great. And a vest.
Yep.
On you
It's
do
your
it,
job to get other people on the terminal list.
which for them is bad. You're going to do a lot of clearing of rooms.
Yep.
And you've got a friend in your earpiece and he's going to be looking at a lot of screens.
So that terminal list is, you got to get it filled by the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Otherwise, we're all in trouble and we'll be on the terminal list, which is good.
There's a guy in a room and he's like, the terminal list, it keeps emptying out. Chris Pratt, You got to put more people on the terminal list for good or bad.
I hope he does.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
I just think,
What do you think that show is about?
what we said.
I guess it is, yeah.
But yeah, you're right. So
And if it's not, that pitch is free.
Yeah.
Amazon, you can have that if you want to if the terminal list isn't doing that well and you want to retool it, that one's free. It's a guy who has to put people on the terminal list because he's on the terminal
yeah,
list.
that's right.
Because he wants some friends.
And that's how you get off or back or stay on the terminal list. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you mentioned The Boys, Invincible, like people like Reacher. Apparently season 3 is quite good. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, The Tick, didn't do well. Is Yellow Jackets on Prime, maybe?
No, it's probably on Hulu. In
I don't know,
America.
something like that. But
yeah,
I think...
We got it on Paramount Plus, so it's in whatever that is.
But then you've got like, your Lord of the Rings and various other things that I can't name because they're not great. I think it really depends on the creative team that they bring on board.
Yeah.
That's what this is going to come down to. What is Fallout? Fallout's on Prime, isn't it? Fallout's
on Prime.
Great. So I don't know.
No. And it also might be a case of they start 6 projects and half of them end up with, people with great ideas who've wanted to make a Bond thing their entire lives and now it's their chance, and half end up with people who just have to follow the algorithm, and half it'll be great and half of it won't. So
yeah. And that's terrific.
That is terrific, I think.
I like the idea of Bond being like a tentpole franchise that you only get one every few years, and it is a big deal when the new Bond is named.
And you have to get it at the movies.
You have, exactly. But that's not what I think, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't think that's what this is going to be.
No.
Yeah.
No, this is streaming for sure.
Yeah. Among other things. And yeah. So I don't know. I think it is a shame that, like, with George Lucas selling Star Wars and whatever, again, I think the output has been a mixed bag. But again, Star Wars has always been a mixed bag. There's just more of it now, which is not a good thing.
No. and for a lot of, for a lot of that and for a lot of people, that has resulted in the magic being gone from Star Wars.
Yep.
Just like, it's just you have to suffer through so much slop for a couple of good
Andor.
Season 2 of Andor.
I like Skeleton Crew or Key or whatever
that was fun.
Called.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, I just think that is the kind of an end of an era where a lot of singular individuals don't really own big IP anymore. Like this is one of kind of the last ones. I mean, I'm sure somebody owns The Shadow and whatever, but like nobody cares.
The Phantom,
etc. Australia owns that actually.
That's true. They do.
The coat of arms owns it. But I just think, it is. I like the idea of like just this old school system of like really particular lunatic producers who are just like, no, we do it this way, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. And maybe we will get somebody like that, like a really someone who has a singular vision, but is perhaps not as out of touch.
Yeah.
Perhaps not even out of touch, but Barbara Broccoli.
Like trend chasing.
Yeah, Barbara Broccoli is 64.
I realized
and Michael Greg Wilson is 83.
I thought he was way older than that.
Well,
he's 83.
I don't know. Maybe it's time.
I think it's definitely time for like new blood.
Yeah.
Like to look at this. Yeah. And again, I would love to I think if you're looking at like maybe setting a trend or doing something different, which wouldn't be something different, but we've said this for years, just take it back to the 60s.
Yeah.
Do it as a period piece. When being a spy was like, it meant something and going somewhere was a big deal.
Yeah,
glamorous. Where now it's like Jack Reacher goes to, I don't know where he goes. He goes in between towns.
He does,
I don't know. That's a bad example. Whatever John Krasinski's character does. Like it's not
his terminal list.
Yeah,
in John Krasinski's terminal list.
It's like he's in Hong Kong and then he goes to whatever and it doesn't mean anything. But like
he's in terminal list Hong Kong.
Yeah, but like when you've got a bit of tech from the 60s that like it's amazing because it has to fit into a whatever and it's like I would love them to do something like that. I don't know if they will. I think it'll be smartphones unlocking doors and whatever.
And it'll also be cameos.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan will be in the next thing, I bet.
I'm Pierce Brosnan. Oh, do you think that's what they're going to do? They're going to
they nearly did it, didn't they?
Bonds?
They nearly did it with Connery.
Yeah, you're right. With Skyfall.
Yeah. That's right.
Something to think about.
Yeah, that's right. Deepfake Roger Moore.
Bond universe. Oh, yeah. It could be.
Deepfake Connery.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. That's what we want.
That's right.
Yeah.
Lazenby still alive?
Yeah, he's alive.
Okay.
He's doing the rounds.
No need for a deepfake then.
You still do it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's cheaper. They're getting it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Any other thoughts on that? Oh, okay. What do you think they'll do a modern day thing and a retro thing, or do you think it's all going to be in the same continuity?
I think it'll be the same universe. I think they'll make a Bond universe. And maybe some it'll be like John Wick, where there's a John Wick show set in the 70s or whatever, but it's the same.
Yeah, 00 agents.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like the idea of other 00. It's always interesting to me when you see other 00 agents
Yeah.
and what they've been doing.
Yeah.
You don't get a lot of it.
I would love to see a 009.
Yeah.
Because 009 is always he's the guy that got his car stolen by Daniel Craig Bond in Spectre, I think.
Sure, yeah.
And he's the guy that was killed while dressed as a clown in Octopussy. Like 00, it's presumably it's a different guy every time.
Yeah,
But I would
because
love
he keeps
to
dying.
Yeah, I would love to see maybe just because I mean presumably James Bond doesn't get all the
No, he
world-ending
couldn't, yeah.
missions. Like, presumably they're all doing other stuff. Give us and I think as well, some years ago, in terms of the book publishing, a lot of that's referred to as like the 00 series now.
Oh, okay.
Because they have sort of recently premiered books that feature other 00 agents. So maybe that's what they're going for.
Yeah, okay.
Like they'll transition it to a 00 concept and we'll see and I said this in the past and I feel like the world would reject it, but I would have liked to have seen subsequent movies with the MI6 team from the Daniel Craig era after
sure.
Daniel Craig Bond died.
And
Like
maybe they will.
get Lashana Lynch as the new 007 and another team, because I feel like they just finally gelled in the last one.
Yeah.
Like they were really working together, and
Rafe
Fiennes, Ben Whishaw, etc.
Naomi Scott.
Rory Kinnear might be there.
Yeah.
You know?
The dust of Daniel Craig.
The Daniel Craig dust that they would fling in people's faces.
Well,
he's alive?
Yeah, he's alive. They did say at the end 007 will return or whatever.
Yeah,
right, but I think that implied that we're rebooting this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I don't know. Also, I'm like, do I want to see a James Bond-less universe?
Right, yeah.
Probably not. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Do one movie.
Yeah. Because do you dare to make the central protagonist of a series
A pile of dust.
a pile of dust, but like a new guy or girl or what have you, who is give him a new set of backstory and foibles and strengths and weaknesses and whatever, which they did with the Mission Impossible franchise.
True, yeah.
They just got they got some arc, they had the series for many years, and then they couldn't get any of the original cast back, and the guy who played Jim Phelps didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And so they just got some archetypes and a new guy, and then they restructured the series around that. So maybe that's what they could do. Maybe they could do. Give us a 009.
Lashana Lynch recently did The Jackal as well,
yeah.
where she played a espionage kind of character, a more shady kind of sinister one. But she was great in that.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see her doing it, which I don't think they will do.
No.
Because people will cry.
People will cry.
And we can't have people crying. We can't have people being upset, can we?
It's certainly not.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about this, Mason.
Okay.
Deadline is saying that Marvel have cancelled a bunch of their shows, for now at least, and they could still happen. These were the three. There was Nova, which is the story of Richard Rider, and he has to rebuild the Nova Corp, and it's against the Nihilists and the Annihilation Wave. There's Strange Academy, where Wong, love this, he runs a school, which includes America Chavez as one of the students.
And probably Madison.
And Terra, which
Terra Inc. Terra Incorporated, yeah.
The series would have followed Terra, an immortal anti-hero who gains abilities by grafting the limbs of others onto himself.
Correct.
So the idea is that I think, there's a Brad Winterbaum, who's the head of Marvel Television. He said this to EW. My vision is to get back to more of a comfort viewing, reliable, invest in the characters over a long period of time, traditional style of television storytelling. I hope that over the next few years we see the fruits of that. Yeah, I think the idea of doing, basically doing limited series that act as extended movies, I think that era is at an end.
Which is a shame because we only got a couple of those.
I mean, not really.
We
got WandaVision.
We got right.
And
Hawkeye
and not one shots. No, I mean series that they kind of did one.
One series.
Yeah, I would say most of them. She-Hulk, most of them aren't ongoing. Agatha, that's probably
true.
not continuing, at least not in that form. So, it seems like a traditional TV model where they probably crunched the numbers and went, people come back to things.
Yes.
It's easier to get people on board for something that they already know or have heard, as opposed to reintroducing or doing a Moon Knight and then it disappears forever.
So we're doing Spider-Man again.
Yeah.
And Tom Holland is busy, so most of it will be a stunt double.
Well, they did say that in Avengers because he's filming Christopher Nolan's movie.
That's correct.
You heard this, I assume.
The Odyssey, yeah.
The Odyssey, his part will mostly be a stand-in, and he will voice over. Which All right, yeah. I mean, they all did that at the end.
They sure did.
Or Robert Downey Jr. did.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it is what I don't think it'll make that big a difference.
No.
I would say so. Yeah.
Wild to me that they thought about putting Terror Inc. in a.
I don't think I've ever even heard of this.
He had a regular run in the 90s. He had a Marvel Max series.
Is it from 92? They said. Was that right?
Around about then. Yeah, it would have been. But yeah, he's just a weird zombie-looking guy in a trench coat, and he absorbs people's powers. Yeah, crazy. This is a zombie essentially. I guess people like zombie stuff.
Yeah. My son said to me today.
Go on.
He goes, if you could, because he's loving everything Marvel at the moment.
Oh,
he's making his way through all the Marvel movies in the weirdest order you've ever seen. I love it. Yeah. But he goes, if you could make a Marvel TV like show or movie, what would it be? And I said, I think you would enjoy something like this. It would be a multiple man movie where, because, he can go off and, he can learn different things and whatever and whatever. But
I think we all can, James.
But he can do it multiple times with multiple men. But he's somebody impersonates him and does a murder, but he has to clear his name, but they think he did it because he's multiple man. And so he can't be like, well, I wasn't there. Well, it's like, well, you can be there. You can be literally anywhere.
That's fun.
And it ends up being, I don't know, the Chameleon or Mr. Sinister or whatever.
The little chameleon.
Yeah, the little chameleon.
Whoa.
I think the idea of a guy trying to clear his name who was a criminal and also can be literally multiple places at once. I think
that sounds a lot. That sounds like a lot of
fun.
fun.
And I came up with that on the spot.
That is great.
I'm incredible. That one's not free, by the way.
Wow.
That's mine and Marvel. If you want to use it, I invented that. Okay. It's also probably a story already.
Well, I mean, potentially. I mean, and then that also works because he had a series many years ago called X Factor where he was in a detective agency.
There you go.
So yeah, he's make it kind of noirish, and he's a man in shaky ground with the law, and then maybe he did a crime, but actually was a little chameleon.
And you know what my son also said. Can he send off another man and that man can go to the toilet for him? And my understanding is that if he makes a copy of himself, it's in whatever form he's currently in.
Correct.
So if he needs to go to the bathroom, then the copy will need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, both of them would need to go.
That's what I thought. So you need two toilets.
Yeah, that's right.
Crazy.
Yeah. Or one would have to wait for a while.
No, one sits down, the other one pees through the legs.
Oh, that's terrific. That's really good.
You can't have that idea either. That's my idea, Marvel, if you're going to use it.
All right.
Yeah.
Has your son seen the Dungeons and Dragons movie?
No, not yet.
I reckon he'd like it.
Oh, definitely. I just haven't got around to showing. Because also, unlike me, he has to go to school and do
that's
activities.
True. Yeah.
I can.
And if he's currently pumped full of Marvel movies in a random order, you don't want to add to that with another completely new universe.
And then he's like, "When's the next one?" I'm like, "Never."
Maybe 20 years. Different cast, different creatives.
Worse.
Yeah, it will be worse.
This shouldn't have been good.
Yeah. This was lightning in a bottle, this one. There were 3 before this. They were all bad. They got worse. Here's a clip. Show him a clip. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so we've got some Daredevil Born Again release dates.
Okay.
Episode 1 and 2, March 4th.
All right, that's not far away at all.
No, episode 3, March 11th. Following week on the 18th, episode 4. And then episode 5 and 6 on March 25th. And then after that, there's 3 more episodes. And I think the idea, it's been speculated that they want to get this wrapped up before Andor starts again on April 22nd.
Okay.
So, yeah. I'm hoping Daredevil is an example of retooling a show or a movie, and it's completely for the better.
I would hope that also. I hope it's not worse.
From what I've seen, it looks good.
Yep.
But I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
A short clip, a trailer was released this week, and it had Foggy in a second location, and people were like, "Oh, he's not dead. He's not immediately being killed in this show,
knew it.
Unless he's killed in the 3rd scene."
I didn't know it then. Yeah. Let's talk about Marvel Rivals, how they fired a bunch of people. Sorry, they call it significant layoffs, or it's been called significant layoffs. Marvel Rivals game director Thaddeus Sasser shared on LinkedIn, yuck, that NetEase...
But Thaddeus Sasser, incredible.
Great name. NetEase laid off the entire US-based team. This is such a weird industry. My stellar, talented team just helped deliver an incredibly successful new franchise in Marvel Rivals for NetEase games, and were just laid off. Oh well, times are tough all over. Let's find these incredible people new jobs because we all need to eat right. What is wild about this is how do you even succeed in this industry where if a game does poorly, you get fired, or if it does really well, you still get fired?
Yeah,
what the fuck is happening?
And
efficiency is of what?
Yeah, surely, and I don't have any examples here because I'm out of the loop, but surely there are examples, probably many examples in the past where you had a team make a game for a company and it did pretty well, and then they made the sequel or a subsequent game for the same company and it it just blew up and it was incredible and it was a huge
That happens
success.
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Assassin's Creed.
there you go.
They keep doing it.
Yeah, they just keep doing it. But
Yeah.
like the idea of like, no, what are the odds they'll make another Marvel Rivals or they'll make a sequel or improve on this
And
in
we'll
any
need
way?
to,
We'll need to bring them back. Well, they're all fired.
Yeah.
Whatever. We got the profit for this quarter. So
I also think this stuff does sour people who are gamers. Like genuinely. Like
and they're sour enough.
Exactly. Like I fired up my PlayStation 5 the other day because I had to do something. I
yeah.
can't remember what. And then it asked me to reinstall everything or whatever it does.
Yeah.
And it was there because we did it. Not that I was going to play it again. I just was like, fuck this. And I deleted it, which means nothing. They don't care. But like, I would have just left that forever, really.
Yeah.
But like, if someone like me who, is not a big gamer or whatever is like, this can't be good for the industry. Surely other people think similarly. But luckily, though, we've got this from a spokesperson at NetEase, no name on it.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah.
This is a group statement.
Yeah, we all
From
think this.
everyone and no one.
We recently made the difficult decision to adjust Marvel Rivals development team structure for organizational reason and to optimize development efficiency for the game. This resulted in a reduction of the design team based in Seattle that is part of a larger global design function in support of Marvel Rivals. We appreciate the hard work and dedication of those affected and will be treating them confidentially and respectfully with recognition for their individual contributions.
That's terrific.
Is that money?
That sounds to me like they're trying to say we're going to individually speak to all these people and give them money, but they're not going to do it to anyone.
I can't imagine so.
Yeah.
I mean, also, this is an article by 80 Level.
Okay.
I don't know. This was after it came out. Current estimates show that Marvel Rivals has earned $136 million in just 1 month and is on track to become one of the biggest live service games of all time. So, yeah, this is a free game.
Yeah.
And it still made that much money and it crushed like that other one who did this. What's that other game? That other one?
Overwatch?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Whatever, like immediately like rocketed to the top. It's everywhere. People talk about it all the time. I just think like you can't even... I know that this isn't for efficiency's reason. I know that it's just numbers on a spreadsheet and like it'll get some people higher up a bonus. I know exactly what this is. This whole bullshit statement is just...
You're calling these guys out.
I know.
On their BS.
Am I even allowed to do this?
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty cool like that.
Yeah, pretty rebellious over here.
Yeah. Anyway, game's fine.
Look pretty fine. I didn't know what was going on, but
Yeah.
people are having a nice time, aren't they?
That's right,
They're
yeah.
adding new characters. Some of the Fantastic Four are in there.
They're in it now.
And then soon others will be in there.
Yeah.
All of them will be there.
Yep.
You have a team of the Fantastic Four. Pretty good.
I think they're probably going to do what they did with Overwatch 2. They're going to announce a second one, and all this is going to fall in the toilet. Because I think if it'll be that or something else. You can't run an organization like this and treat people this way, and it's not going to fall in the toilet. It's just going to happen. This is like a short-term gain for something that's going to happen worse.
Ain't that the
Mark my
truth?
fucking words on that. Write it down, everybody.
What precedent have you for saying that besides this happening dozens, if not hundreds of times before? James.
Good point. Good point. If you head over to James Gunn's social media, Mason.
Oh, yes. At James Gunn.
Yes, that's right. He
At
actually...
Truth Social.
What?
Yep.
Good.
I agree.
That's good. Finally. James Gunn and Zack Snyder have a photo together that he posted. James Gunn said, always a pleasure catching up with my friend at Zack Snyder.
Nice.
Consummate filmmaker and a double consummate storyteller.
Now, over on Vivo, the social media platform for Zack Snyder.
Vivo?
Is that what it's called?
Vero?
Vero.
Yeah.
Did Zack Snyder re-Vero that?
Oh, can you re-Vero
I
something
don't know.
from Truth Social?
No one knows. It's just for Zack Snyder.
Yeah. It's to share black and white photos of a movie you made 8 years ago or something. Isn't
That's
that
all.
what it's
Yeah.
for?
It only unlocks after 8 years. Yeah. It's him and what's that guy?
David Ayer?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
This could mean nothing or something.
Some people have suggested he could be directing The Authority.
Oh, yeah.
Which to me would make sense.
Yep.
Because it's a big, it's a series that's all about cool, edgy characters.
Yeah.
They were some of the most edgy characters at the time.
Do you think he's writing it?
No.
Do you think that's good though?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
good. That he's
I
not
think he
writing it.
needs a win.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think at this point he's probably recognized that visually, he's got a lot going on. But the last few projects, just really Rebel Moon in particular, it was not a strong.
Well, that's his last few projects.
Yeah, that's true.
Rebel Moon and then Rebel Moon 2 and then the sexy versions.
Yeah,
So
sexy
that's
Rebel
four.
Moon.
That's four things.
Sexy Moon. Yeah, sure. I mean, I think also at the very least, this is for Zack Snyder fans to just like get them to fucking chill out for a minute.
Yeah, or
It
upset
could
them all the more.
Yeah, it could just be that. I
Yeah.
mean, if you go into the Reddit, like people, their Reddit, it's like, God, they're furious. They're just furious.
They're furious
Mason.
that James Gunn would
Not
have
at
the
this.
temerity.
Not at this, but just in
Just general. Oh, absolutely, of course, yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I'd put him on something. Put him on Injustice. I don't know.
Yeah.
Get someone to help him creatively in terms of the writing and whatever. But
I am currently on James Gunn's Instagram, and he's put the photo of himself and Zack Snyder. It's got 146,000 likes.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure that would get the Zack heads on his side. But then subsequently, the next post is a cameo cover from Superman Unlimited #1. It's a variant cover, and it's by Dan Mora, a very good artist, and it's James Gunn and David Corenswet as Superman back to back. And I'm like, surely that's going to ruin all the goodwill that he's just gotten.
can you believe this guy?
From the Snyder. Can
you believe this guy?
I cannot believe this guy.
Yeah.
Cannot believe this guy. He's holding a laptop. It's got a DC sticker on it.
When
How
are
dare he?
When are they going to fire Kathleen Kennedy?
Exactly. That is a great question. It's got a Peacemaker sticker on it. Thanks for destroying all the continuity except for Peacemaker, James Gunn.
Yeah, the show that you made.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man, we'll see. I guess we'll all... Also, bearing in mind that, they are friends. James Gunn wrote Dawn of the Dead, which Zack Snyder directed, and he's even talked about, he spoke to Zack Snyder about the trunks and getting a version of that to work and how we struggled with it, as so did Zack Snyder, who tried 1,000 different versions also. So, yeah, it could just be...
And they're all in a warehouse somewhere.
Yeah.
1,000 different Superman trunks, yeah.
Interesting.
Right. Yeah.
I want one of those.
And you can have one.
Can I?
If you can break into the warehouse.
I definitely could break into a warehouse, Mason. Don't even worry about it.
If trunks are the price.
Yeah, I could climb up the wall and get in through the window quite easily. I think you could find...
So true.
I think you could find me doing that.
I think you could. But only on Vero.
All right, let's talk about this. Last bit of news via THR. Speak No Evil's James Watkins will direct the Clayface movie, which is written by Mike Flanagan, who, of course, did a bunch of good horror stuff.
Which is Speak No Evil again.
Speak No Evil is the one where you're not allowed to speak any evil, even if you want to.
Can you be any more specific? Because that sounds like, I know you know what you're talking about, but it sounds like you were just saying a very generic thing.
If I had to guess, it's the one where James McAvoy is like, my family's weird.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You think I'm normal, but I'm weird and my family's weird.
Why don't you stay for weird family lunch? We're normal. But we call it
Why
weird
did you just
family
call it weird
lunch.
family lunch
No
then?
reason. We're normal.
Okay.
Stick around, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I can go.
No.
Oh.
You can go if you could just get in your car.
Yep.
We've we washed it and we slashed the tires.
The battery's missing.
Yeah. It's a centerpiece for the table at Weird Family Lunch.
Weird family lunch.
Yes.
But it is normal.
It's normal.
But you call it weird.
Yeah.
Because it's funny?
No.
Here's a synopsis.
I didn't see that movie.
No.
I saw the trailer 500 times. Though.
Me too. It's got a good... it rated well.
I'm not exaggerating when I think it did play twice before one movie at one
Really?
point. I think so, yeah.
It made a budget of 15 million. It made 76 million. That's good. Yeah, I should watch that actually. I do like the trailer that I also watched 500 times. Clayface is a Hollywood horror tale centering on a B-movie actor who injects himself with a substance to keep himself relevant. Whoa!
Uh-oh.
That's like the substance, or as I call it, weird substance. Only to find out that he can reshape his face and form, becoming a walking piece of clay. There we go.
Interesting.
Looks like we're getting a mixture of them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's going to draw comparison to The Substance, but that was one of the Batman the Animated Series episodes.
That's true.
So that storyline has
Man
been in
became a
place
Clayface.
for a long time, and it's been the frickin' the origin of a bunch of the Clayfaces, which have all melded together
To make
like
a
different bits of clay
singular Clayface.
together. Yeah.
Is it called singular Clayface now?
No.
One Clayface. Cool. Well, that's all great and I love it.
Me
Should we
too.
move on to the thing we're talking about?
Yes.
The Monkey.
Go on.
Budget of $10 million, Mason.
Interesting.
Pretty good.
Very interesting.
If I had $10 million, I would probably keep it and not make a movie.
Yeah, it's a really good point, isn't it? Yeah.
What would you do?
Then
again,
if you had $10 million.
make a movie.
Okay.
Make
What I
$12
would do
million.
is if you had $10 million, I would do the thing from Superman 3 and then Office Space. where I put a thing on your computer, and every time you make a purchase,
Yeah.
like a small amount of that money goes to me somehow.
That's good.
Yeah.
For you.
And when I say small amount of money, I mean $9 million. So if you're like,
Every time I make a purchase.
yeah, so if you're like, I'll buy that comic book for my son or whatever, I get $9 million. And you don't notice because you've still got $1 million.
Yeah. I have no idea what's happening.
You don't know. And you never check your bank statements.
Why would I?
That's right, because you got $10 million.
You got $10 million. I know it's there.
Yeah.
It looks like its opening weekend in the US, it's going to make $12 to $14 million.
Maybe if I had $10 million, I'd make a movie about a cursed monkey.
Yeah, I can see why you'd think that because you liked this one, I assume.
Yes, that's
You
right.
think you could make a better one than this?
No, I'd make the same one. Yeah.
With all the same people.
I think so, if they'd come back.
I think it would be worse. I know you think it would be the same, but I think you'd make a worse version of this, even if everybody
Interesting.
was involved. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it is. So this will make its money back and then some. I think this is going to be a moderate hit, like the movie Speak or See No Evil, whatever
That's
that
right.
one was we
Sure,
talked
sure,
about.
sure,
with
sure.
Weird Lunch. What do you think the story was?
Oh, James, come on, mate.
It's all right.
In my vulnerable state here,
Yeah.
because I'm...
Reaching for my computer to install something on it.
That's exactly right. How dare you? How dare you? Well, this is based on a short story by Stephen King.
It is from like the early 80s.
Yes.
It's from a collection.
It's from Skeleton Crew, which also contains The Mist.
Oh, The Mist is a good
Yeah.
book. I'm going to say it. What happened? Watch the Mist movie, everybody.
Yeah, what I would say is that the because I've read both of those.
Wasn't there a series? Didn't they make
They
a
did
Mist?
the series of The Mist. It was in like 2017-ish. I don't know.
Did it
It's on
end the
Spike
same way?
TV or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's going to say.
I'll look it up.
Both The Mist and The Monkey, they're in the same collection, and both of them are quite different from their adaptations.
Oh, yes, they are.
Not least of which is that in the original short story, The Monkey, it's about a monkey that clashes the cymbals. It's a classic wind-up little toy, but they couldn't use that. It's even on the cover of Skeleton Crew if you look at different versions. But they can't use it apparently because, and Osgood Perkins, who directed this, confirmed it.
Yeah.
It's the Disney Pixar trademarked the cymbal crashing monkey for Toy Story 2.
3, yeah.
3. So they had to use a drum
And
monkey.
it looks that's I don't know if you've seen that movie, but it is a terrifying cymbal clashing monkey, which is wild because you can just do that.
It feels like a very common but anyway, so it's basically
I think it works better. I mean, Osgood Perkins also talked about how he thinks it's kind of like a drum roll. There's like a you know, like it's
so
a
anyway,
tension
so
to
this
it.
is about two twin brothers, and as children in the 90s, if you can imagine such a thing, they had a mum.
Yep.
And they had a dad who was an airline pilot, but he was sort of a philandering character. It's a fun little cameo we won't spoil here. But and he was barely around, and then he disappeared. But all they had to remember from him was a closet where he kept all these kind of trinkets and things that he'd acquired from his travels across the world, one of which was this strange wind-up monkey toy.
Also bigger than I thought.
Yeah, you'd think it'd be teeny weeny, but it's sort of like a baby size, I guess. And anyway, they discover...
I'd say toddler, but go on.
They discover seemingly that if you wind this monkey up, it drums its little drum and it plays... What's the song?
That's a great question.
I had it
It's a
before.
carnival song
It's
of some description.
It's
I can Google
if
it.
you could Google it. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
It plays that song, and then seemingly afterwards, somebody dies in a horrible freak accident. And then fast forward.
It's not the monkey doesn't necessarily like make something move and then that'll kill somebody.
Yeah.
It can be somebody across town or it's the rules are vague.
Yeah,
I guess.
This is a vibes movie, is what I would say.
I
but
mean,
anyway,
that was like Osgood Perkins' last one.
yeah.
It's a very vibes movie, yeah.
And then we fast forward to the present day. Many tragedies have befallen the people around these twin boys. They've lost contact with each other. They haven't seen each other in years, and we follow. The character's name is
Hal.
Is it?
Is it Hal? Is he Hal?
Hal. It's Hal.
Yeah.
Who is the slightly younger of the two twin brothers. He wears glasses. He's a real nerd.
Yeah, he's a
played by Theo James, and
real nerd.
He tries to keep out of everybody's way. And also they got rid of them. They got rid of the monkey.
Threw it down a well.
They threw it down a well. They're like, this will be the end of it. And then Hal is trying to reconnect with his estranged son that he sees once a year. But otherwise he tries to keep out of everybody's business because he figures horrible accidents will befall them.
Yeah.
But then somehow the monkey comes back. Somehow the monkey has returned.
Monkey has returned.
The monkey that loves to kill has returned.
Yeah.
And he's got to figure out how it's returned, what's going on.
Yep.
How to
stop this.
How to stop this. How to save his son.
Yeah.
And it's a real roller coaster ride. Let me tell you.
Boy, is it. So yeah, I started the audiobook, but I didn't get a chance to finish it. But yeah, it's the book is very serious in tone, where this is
wacky as hell.
Absolute fucking lunacy.
Yeah.
In the best way. So Osgood Perkins' last movie we talked about, which was Long Legs.
Which came out last year?
Yeah. Yes. Similarly, I would say it's only similar in the sense that like it's shot similarly, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Nothing about that is...
That one was horrifying and sinister and paranoid. And this is...
upsetting.
Upsetting. And this one is wacky.
Yeah.
It's gory, certainly.
Oh, yeah.
Some extremely gory stuff.
But it's all played for laughs. A lot of the gore. Like, oftentimes, it's just a person exploding.
Yeah.
If from an accident you don't think a person could possibly explode in.
It's true, yes.
And it makes it all the more better for it. And it's like brief, you know, it's like you're not getting like very slow, like awful torture porn kind of thing. It's just like a crash, and then it's kind of Final Destination-ish, I guess.
Yeah, I got a trailer for Final Destination Bloodlines in the front of this movie. So yeah, they know their audience clearly.
Oh, speaking of, this is another movie. We talked about one last week with The Wolfman. It's about generational trauma.
Yeah.
And what your parents pass on to you, et cetera, and so forth.
He got some trauma. Generational trauma. I'm working on a new version of the Monster Mash.
It's good.
It just adds elevated horror elements to all
You're
of it.
going to call it generational trauma?
Maybe.
Mash?
Yeah, maybe the generational trauma mash. Yeah.
So there's a lot of that. You know what? My note here was, the two twin boys in this are great. It's one kid.
It is, yeah.
It's Christian Convery, who I didn't recognize, but he's the kid from Sweet Tooth on Netflix.
Oh, right. Okay. Yet I find it very difficult to recognize.
I had to look that up. I went through all these movies.
Yeah.
I'm like, haven't seen any of this.
Because they also grow
TV
a
shows.
foot in between
it's
roles.
Sweet Tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's very good. And the thing about the twins is one's awful.
Yes.
And that goes for the same for when they're older.
But they also have like a childhood full of awful classmates and strange weirdos.
Yeah.
And there's like a girl gang of bullies.
Yeah.
Like it felt like elements of like, remember the movie Bottoms?
Yes.
Like they have a sort of surreal childhood.
Yeah.
And I thought that really
like you can be covered in bananas in front of everybody in your whole school and nobody will stop that from happening.
Or you'll go into the boys' bathroom and all the girls are there and they take your pants away and you have to leave, go home with no pants. You know, it's on I think I don't know. I just thought it was a very enjoyable element to this movie. That it felt like, I don't know, just like that he's living through the weird memories of his childhood. Like that's how he recalls it, but maybe that's not how it really went. But
potentially
that's sort of, you know.
But also a lot of the modern day stuff is also pretty surreal as well.
But like this is sort of like I said, you know, Patrick H. Willems has that video about vibes movies.
Yeah.
And often they're quite, you know, it's like Miami Vice or like kind of, you know, action movies or what have you. But this movie, I guess, is about memories of childhood and, like you said, generational trauma and what
and you can't avoid bad things happening to you.
Yeah, and kind of like maybe your siblings will be mean to you as a child, but they didn't mean it, but they didn't have the capacity to change themselves and all this sort of stuff. And I guess it has those meanings, but it's also just like it's just got a fun, weird vibe.
Yeah,
and it's just a lot of it is just kind of like, yeah, bad stuff's gonna happen. I guess you got to roll with it. And sometimes people in your life are just gonna die.
I'm just looking at because Osgood Perkins. He mentioned it, and I don't know specifically, but how he came to this. It was in the Mark Kermode review. I heard of this, but where his parents, both of them, because he's the son of Anthony Perkins,
who was famously not into women, except he had
was I didn't know that.
Yeah,
really,
Anthony Perkins is sort of famously gay. So
really,
I
did not know that.
And so he died of, I think, complications of AIDS, and his mother was Berry Berenson, and she died in one of the 9/11 planes.
Right. Yeah, so Osgood Perkins was saying that he spent a lot of time and like dealing with growing up, or even as an adult, like the unfairness of the tragedy of his parents passing.
Yeah,
and two just horrific but entirely separate events and
very public as well.
Yeah,
like and you know he grew up in the public eye and in Hollywood, and then these tragic events happened to both his parents.
He was in Legally Blonde.
Was he?
I think so.
Was he really?
Maybe.
He's been in stuff. Was he?
Maybe maybe that wasn't him.
Was he in Psycho?
No, he
2?
was. He wasn't legally.
Okay, great.
He was in one of the Psychos as Little Norman
Little-
Gates. I think
he's
it
in
was
Psycho
Psycho 2.
2.
Yeah, I
Psycho
think
2,
you're right.
right,
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Psycho 2, Little
But
Psycho.
yeah, so I guess he's had a lot of time to, and we always talk about Hollywood, but I guess he's had time to.
Yeah.
This is how he's processing just a lot of strange things in life, and I think people will relate to that a lot. Even if you didn't grow up in Hollywood, you probably a lot of strange stuff happened to you, and that's you watch this movie and you're like, oh yeah. None of that specifically has happened to me, but I see it.
Yeah, well, he was talking about how it came down to him that everybody dies, and and it's just random and chaos, and sometimes it's mean, and so let's exactly have a bit of fun with it. So also he's in this. He plays an uncle of the twins.
Oh, of course he does. Yeah, that's right.
And he's quite fun in it as well. As is Tatiana Maslany, who is the mother.
That's correct. Yes.
And we won't spoil who the father is, but you'll see him. He's the first person in this movie.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, which you will see and know, and you'll be like, I know him.
That's right.
I know him.
Wow.
I would say, it's very funny. It's very dark. I would also say it's not for everybody. And we even got some reviews that said as much. I got asked by somebody if they should see it. And I said, no.
Like in real life?
In real life.
Oh, the answer's always no then.
Yeah, exactly. And it was more kind of just not because it's not good, but just knowing you won't like this.
Yeah, right.
So
Are they
maybe I'm giving them not enough credit.
Are they a kind of person who requires that movies have a certain set of laws that they always obey?
No, it's just that
because I would say if you love that, if you're insistent on I need somebody at some point to be listen.
Get on a Zoom call with somebody who goes, this is what it is.
This is what it is, and I'm a foremost scholar of cursed toys.
Yeah.
And actually, this is exactly how it works, and these are exactly the rules, and you have to do this by the time or whatever. You're not going to get that.
No.
It's chaos, and nobody really knows what's happening.
You can drop it down a well for a bit.
If you chop it apart, what's going to be in there? Who knows?
Find out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was more just oh no, you're like a parent and haven't watched a movie in 10 years. Don't worry about it. Not this one.
Yeah,
don't start with this one.
Start on something else.
Start with Power Rangers 2017.
Start with
reboot.
Anyone But You.
Yeah, there you go.
Standard issue romance.
That's a great
pretty
one.
fun. Yeah, that'll ease you back in there.
Yeah.
That'll
ease
you
you
back
do some
in the movies.
spoilers?
Let's do some spoilers. I'm going to say best movie ever.
I'm also going to say best movie ever. What is he doing next? We should find out.
Well, apparently, I stuck around for post credits because I was told that there was going to be a post credits, but there is only a post credits.
Mine just shut off. The whole thing, no credit. It's just shut off.
Really?
Yeah. So that was a theater's problem.
Okay. Well, in select cinemas, I think in the US, you actually get a trailer for Keeper, which is his next movie.
Oh.
But we got nothing. I think we get a little voice. I think maybe it's like a little child's voice. Maybe one of his actual kids in real life says something. But
but
that's all you get.
Malcolm and Liz are set on a romantic anniversary retreat to a remote cabin where Malcolm unexpectedly leaves for the city. Liz is alone, only to be confronted by a sinister presence within the cabin.
Yeah, and that's got Tatiana Maslany again.
Sweet. Is there a trailer for this?
I don't know.
Let me check.
Okay, please.
Because I won't watch it now.
Mm-hmm. But you'll watch it later. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll watch it tomorrow.
It's got a sort of apparently it's got a sort of mystery vibe. It's
out this year as well. God, this guy is absolutely flying. He's making it happen. No, nothing just yet. I'm just
World
getting
Class Goalkeeper Saves 2025, Best 100 Saves.
I'm getting an AI generated trailer for The Beekeeper 2.
Nice,
which
that's
is not
great.
a movie.
That's terrific.
Yet.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, we might get that. I would suggest in upcoming Beekeeper
October
2 trailer.
3rd.
Yeah, we'll get a trailer for that maybe pretty soon. I would guess. Yeah.
Sweet.
Knocking him out. Good for him.
Knocking him out. Good for him. And yeah, good run so far. Cool. Spoilers.
Yep.
One of the twins is evil for real.
That's right. Yes.
And
the older twin Bill.
Yes.
Who was always mean and so
inexplicably mean.
Well, he's just a mean kid.
Yeah.
And in a way that you're like, yeah, some kids are just mean.
Yeah.
But also early on in the film, when they're both kids, Hal is upset at his brother, and so he winds the key in the monkey's back, hoping that Hal will be killed.
Yeah.
But actually, hoping that Bill will be killed rather. But actually, his mother dies.
Yeah.
And so
doesn't work like that.
Right, and he never reveals this, but the older brother, Bill,
he figures it out.
Always believes that was the case.
Yeah.
And I mean, is it true? I guess.
I would say it seems to be true.
Yeah, it seems that way. I mean, up until a certain point, you might be like, well, these are accidental. But when somebody falls into an electrified pool and explodes, I guess you're like, no, this is happening, isn't it? So he has spent. So he lost it. He went back as a kid to find the monkey in the well, but it wasn't there. He only had the key, and then he eventually, as an adult, figures out where it is. He hires a local oaf to buy it from a yard sale.
By the way.
Yeah, he's fun.
Yeah.
And then he spends a long time trying to get the monkey to kill Hal, but it never works. It just kills randoms. That's where all the sudden deaths are coming from.
Yeah, it's just dozens upon dozens of people in the town who are getting chewed up by lawnmowers or whatever else.
Whatever else happens, or getting their head set on fire and then having their head shoved into a mailbox or whatever. Yeah,
exactly.
Just all
impaled
sorts of
on
stuff.
a mailbox.
Yeah. And then of course, it winds up Hal and his son Petey. They get taken to Bill's house and they figure out what's happening, and then they sort of reconcile a little bit.
Yep.
After there's some kerfuffle.
Oh yeah.
And Bill attempts to get the monkey to over and over to kill Hal, but it just kills a bunch of people in the town randomly. Plane crashes, stuff just explodes on fire, chaos, car crashes, all sorts of stuff. And then they reconcile, but then the monkey kills Bill by with a weird Rube Goldberg trap that crushes his head with his mother's bowling ball.
Correct.
Anyway, then that's the movie.
Yeah. That's how. Oh, and then they decide to keep the monkey, Hal and his son, just to kind of keep an eye on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, don't wind it up. Just kind of keep it in check, because I guess it's just with them. It's part of their lineage.
And on the way out of the town, they decide they run across a pale horse with a pale rider who's like, I don't know, man. Yeah. You deal with it.
I guess that's death.
Yeah.
Yep.
Seems that way.
Pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
So, yeah. Did anything happen beyond that? Because that's when it cut off. Like, it's death, and then it just cut.
Well, what happens? They see death, and then they drive through. They wait for the green light, and they've got their seatbelts on, so all very good stuff. And they drive through, and they go off, and then a bus full of cheerleaders goes past, and they're all cheering out the window, and then a truck comes by and kills them all.
That's what happened?
Yes.
I didn't get that.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
It just stopped.
No, you should demand your money back.
I agree.
They won't give it back, though, will
No, they probably won't. They won't believe me. Yeah. Cool. All in all, great. William Thode, in reviews from the Great Mates group.
Oh, yes.
William Thode says, it was very enjoyable. Dark, twisted, and a sick sense of humour. It and Companion are currently fighting for Movie of the Year as of now.
Oh, yeah. We like Companion too, yeah.
Daryl Finland says, seeing this tonight with a fellow great mate, Niall Williams, and we are both quite excited about it. I'll come back later with my thoughts. Daryl Finland later. Just got back from seeing and loved it. Best movie ever, way gorier than I expected, but also way funnier too.
Adam Scott is in this. Adam Scott is the dad.
Is the dad. That's fun.
And we never really learn his fate, do we?
No. He might even still be out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's life.
That's life. And Yepes says, I'm sorry I probably pronounced your name wrong. I appreciate the kind of movie it is, but it's not for me. I love the dialogue and the weird way everyone talks, but heavily dislike the kills. Yeah, fair enough.
Okay,
yeah, this is not for everybody. Like, I guess all movies. Some people don't like Avatar 2, The Way of Water.
But like you said, a lot of the kills are like not excessively drawn out or anything like that.
No.
It's a lot of, so if you're like, it sounds intriguing, but I'm not a fan of the gore. You can look away for 2 seconds.
Absolutely.
1 second, and then a lot of them are
2 seconds?
2 seconds.
That'll get you covered.
That's right.
There is a moment where a woman gets shotgunned and she just flies to pieces as well. There's a bunch of moments like that. Should we move it along?
Yep.
But what?
Oh, what are we reading?
What?
What are we going to read?
What? I'm doing the thing. What are we reading today? There's a bit of news that we haven't touched upon in the letter segment. We'll just do it now because it kind of relates to the thing that I've got.
Okay.
It was announced.
Because you've teased a hard copy of something.
Big time, Mason.
You've got a physical media
Don't
there.
look at it.
Oh, now you've hidden it again. What
I can't read my screen.
My goodness.
You'll be fine with it. This is via Bleeding Cool, but Comics Pro. There was an announcement at Comics Pro by DC editor-in-chief Marie Javins and Marvel Comics editor-in-chief CB Cebulski. They're going to do some more Marvel DC crossover stuff, which they haven't done since the 90s.
Sure.
So it was a Amalgam Comics where they like merged characters together. There was that. And they also did a run from like the 70s up into the 90s of just different Marvel characters and DC characters meeting and fighting and then working together. So a bunch of shit like that.
We recently covered for our podcast, The Big Sandwich Classic Comic Book Club. I don't know if it's out yet.
Yeah.
We covered a Batman Daredevil crossover.
We did.
Which is just a single
That
issue,
is
but
out.
delightful.
Not only is that out, but also if you're at bigsandwich.co, we looked at the Cancelled Daredevil video game,
That's right.
which is mostly playable.
Yeah.
Some of it is playable.
Seemed like it was okay and playable.
Yeah. So you can find that there as well. It's a bit over 30 minutes for
Yeah,
dollars.
you maintain that
together.
sooner rather than later that Marvel and DC will do some
Yep.
movie crossover stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
Oh, and
one
they just
will purchase the other?
Yeah. No, I think they'll just do. Oh, maybe, but I think it'll just happen. I think also with James Gunn over there as well, like he's heading it up. I'm sure he would love to see that, and if he's got creative control, depending on how his universe goes.
So true.
And all that. And they also re-released all the Amalgam crossover stuff recently in a huge
yes.
omnibus, which I thought about buying, and I was like, it's just $300 to own something I don't even want to read.
Probably not.
Yeah.
No.
I love that Daredevil
Yeah.
Batman comic, but other than that, I don't have that much interest in
Okay,
it.
but bear in mind, every purchase helps me out.
In what way? Oh, yeah.
Because of that algorithm
That's
that
an
I've
interesting
done.
point.
That little thing I put on
Am I
the computer.
supposed to know that?
I mean, you do now, so...
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean,
Now that's cool.
what am I going to do? Bash you over the head with a hammer and make you forget?
Yeah. Very good. So yeah, that's coming out, I guess, later this year, I assume. I didn't see a date on it. But speaking of...
Oh, yes.
So for the next, probably for the next video game thing that we're doing,
Oh, what's he got
I
here?
wanted to play the Punisher arcade game, and a way to get that, I bought you like this, Mason?
Whoa. It's the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, subtitle Arcade Classic, so they can sneak in.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, look at this.
All of them.
It's most of them. It's all
the
Marvel
ones that count.
Superheroes, Marvel X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel versus Capcom 2, Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, then X-Men Children of the Atom,
Yep.
and then the Punisher, which is the one where the
Which
Punisher,
one's X-Men Children of the Atom?
That's the one, the 6-player one.
Oh, that's... We
The
played
classic.
that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, the classic one. That's
Took
good.
me ages to get that running. Now
No,
that's
it's just on here.
great.
That's how they get you.
So I bought it for the Punisher, but there's a bunch of other really good stuff on
Oh,
there.
terrific.
Yeah.
This is my wheelhouse right here. The Punisher. It's the side-scrolling beat 'em up where you and Nick Fury team up.
Yes.
That's right. You and not the Punisher Nick
No,
Fury.
no.
You and Nick
You.
Fury.
It puts you in the
That's right.
game.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What do you think, Mason?
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Very good.
The physical copies, that was $100.
Whoa, and this is for PS4.
Yeah, because there's no PS5 copy. You can play it on PS5.
Right.
It's got a little
it's probably
comic
because
with it.
it's probably because it's got a little comic book in
Nothing
here.
comes with a little comic book anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
Oh my goodness.
most of these I haven't played.
Uh-huh.
Or I remember playing them in the arcade, and I'd start up the game, and then someone would play as a character who was like the size of the screen, and then just hit me with a huge
A giant laser.
giant
shot.
laser that's
Yeah.
also the side of a screen.
Yeah.
So size of a screen. So yeah, but no, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
And my son saw that and he was like, what is happening? Everything's the best.
Yeah.
And we'll never die. And he's right.
That's so true.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you reading
Yeah,
though?
I remember playing a lot of this in the arcades.
Which one?
Mostly probably, I mean, all of them, but certainly the Marvel versus Capcom era. You're right. It was almost always giant character versus giant character.
Yeah.
And you would fight another guy in the arcade, and whoever won, you just look at each other and go, "They're pretty good, I guess." That was good. That was fun. I don't know what happened there, but one of us produced an enormous laser out of nowhere and filled the screen with it, and we got a real show, didn't we? For our 50 cents or whatever it was.
That is true.
I have started, you mentioned this earlier, but the new season of Reacher has begun.
Did you end up finishing Reacher season 2, or did you skip on over that?
No, I finished Reacher season 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did we have
so
some...
you reached all? I didn't reach all the way around to.
Oh, here we
Reacher
go.
season 3?
Bit of fun from you, James.
No one's having fun here, Mason.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I hope you know
Were
that.
you under the impression for all these months and years that I hadn't finished Reacher season 2?
I didn't
James?
think you had.
I always finished the season of Reacher.
But I didn't even know you liked Reacher.
I like Reacher.
more than the Rookie.
Oh, I see what we're doing here.
No one's doing anything.
I've never seen The Rookie. Only you have seen The Rookie, but I've seen Reacher.
Do you want a Rook date?
No, I don't know what that is.
It's a Rook update, a Rookie update.
Oh, I see.
I've been watching
Can I
The
talk about
Rookie.
Reacher for a little bit?
Listen,
And then we can
we'll
have a Rook
seamlessly
date.
dovetail. Rook cap?
No, I like
It's like
Rook.
a recap.
I think Rook Date is better.
Is it?
Yeah, I think Rook Date is
Anyway,
better.
sorry, please give us the Reacher round.
Well, I don't know. This time around, he's classic. He's drifted into a new town.
Has he?
He's driving a van around.
Is he?
And then, of course, he's in a shop.
Was he?
He's just get this, James. He's just minding his own business.
Is he?
And then some sort of kidnapping happens outside
Oh, no.
in a bunch of cars, and he stops the kidnapping, but he also shoots a cop who will invariably turn out to not be a real cop or a fake cop or like.
Does he shoot a cop in the commotion?
Yeah.
So he doesn't. The cop wasn't in on the kidnapping.
No.
Yeah.
But he probably will turn out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because he
can't shoot a cop.
He'll spend. I've only watched the first episode, so he won't spend the remainder of the season being torn up about that he killed a real cop.
Is he torn up about it?
He's marginally torn up about it. He's mostly like, I need a new fake ID and get rid of this gun in this car because I killed a cop and I'm a drifter.
Yeah.
And I got to go.
Where's he work out? You ever seen him working out?
I think he just beats people up.
Yeah, I guess that's a workout.
Just lifts people up and throws them over a fence or whatever. You know what I mean? So somebody mentioned this on Twitter this week, and it's true, that for all the faults of the Tom Cruise, Jack Reacher movies, it makes more sense that in those movies the bad guys are willing to square up against Reacher.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he's a little guy.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, they could beat him. But every character in this show, and I do like it a lot, I think it's a lot of fun. Every character in this, like Reacher's like, you better unhand that woman. And they're like, what are you going to do about it? Guy who's 6'5" tall and 6'5" wide. I'm going to take a swing at you.
Yeah.
Oh, you've broken both my arms with a single strike. This sucks.
And it's like a skinny guy with a little mustache or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got a switchblade.
He might have a switchblade.
What are you going to do about it? Switchblade.
That's right.
Switch.
Yeah.
You go switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get body slammed through a car or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. He's already met guy who's bigger than him.
Yeah, oh,
guy
really?
who's bigger than
Has
Reacher.
he fought him yet?
No, he hasn't, but they've squared off,
Yeah.
James, and that makes sense.
Because
He's bigger.
Was Little Reacher scared of Big Reacher?
No, he was a little bit perturbed. He's like, I don't think this was physically possible.
Yeah, this guy's big. Bigger than me with Jack Reacher, the biggest man.
He's there and he's like, he foiled this kidnapping, but of this rich kid, and the rich kid's dad's like, well, I can help you out for murdering this cop.
Sounds like something's going on there.
Yeah, sounds like something's going on. If you work for me, kind of thing. But then it'll turn out the cops.
Whatever.
There's no way he killed it would be wild stuff if he killed a cop.
Yeah, that cop was good and you shot that cop.
That's right. He wasn't even reaching for his gun.
No.
He was reaching for an ice cream to give
you. That's right, yeah.
But yeah, bit of fun. They're filming a spin-off.
Oh, what's it called?
It's called
Little Reacher.
It's called Reacher's Friend, who's a lady of normal size, but she knows karate and she's got a gun. And what adventures will she get up to?
Does she drift from town to town?
No, she pretty much has a fixed base of operations.
Okay.
I think she might also be good with computers or something.
Was she in the first season?
She's in the first 2 seasons, yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, I love you, Reacher. And he's like, I can't possibly love you. I could only love
she's
driving around.
Well, she's more like a pal of Reacher's.
Okay.
She's like,
did they sleep together or something?
They probably did.
That's crazy.
Maybe. I don't know. I can't remember. It doesn't matter.
But
anyway, she'll be like, I'm going to get up to similar adventures because this has worked out very well for Reacher.
But, do you think that'll do well?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, again, it doesn't have the same hook of the biggest man in the world beating people up easily.
Absolutely, yeah.
She might, have some issues with beating people up. She might have to do 2 punches instead of one really big punch, for example.
That's something that Reacher would do, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
He'd probably do one really big punch.
That's exactly right.
I do want to talk about the rookie, but I just need to find out. I can't remember what happened in the episode I want to talk about.
Well, I think that's the perfect jumping off point. James, now that we've talked about Reacher, a delightful series to watch when you're not watching a series, you were saying you have a rook date or a rookie update, and you are trying to get this pulled out of the edit, but you were looking at your notes and you just
I'm looking at Wikipedia.
You just said to me, you've been watching it, but you don't know what's been happening.
Yeah, I watched an episode. There was one that was the rookie, just a series of things that happens to the rookie.
Okay.
The rookie, he's the best at everything. Like, there turns out that
I don't know that. You know that.
You know that. You remember this episode where the negotiator comes in to teach them negotiations.
Okay.
And they're like, what would you do in this situation? And he's like, I would say, and everyone's like trying to figure out what to say because the woman's got a dead man switch. It's a test.
Okay, sure.
And one goes to tackle her, and she's like, you'd be dead. We'd all be dead, whatever. And then it gets to him, and he goes, I know how you feel. And she's like, go on. And it's like, wow, this guy's just incredible. He knows everything.
What to do, yeah.
And then he actually has to do it later.
Hey, if you set off that, some of the other guys are like, if you set off that bomb, I'll kill you. You set off that suicide vest, I'll kill you, lady.
So it's like that, and then later he has to do a real scenario or whatever, and it's just hilarious that they're like, "Why are you so good at that?" And he's like, "I don't know. I think it's because I used to be a
construction worker
or whatever, and I used to have to tell people that their kitchen being installed was late or whatever. So I'm always like wheeling and dealing and whatever." And they're like, "You're the best with the rookie, but you've also got a lot to learn. But at the same time, you know everything."
That's right.
And that's why I love The Rookie. Check it out.
See, the way you keep describing it it strikes me as kind of wacky. But I asked you directly, is this show wacky? And you're like, not really.
No,
and that
that
sort of kills the appeal. Like when I think of Nathan Fillion in a thing.
It is wacky until somebody inevitably is like, oh, they left their baby in the car and then whatever. And he's like, this is unacceptable even for me, the rookie.
Yeah. How would you deal with that? You get your baby out of the car, I'll kill you. No.
What
rookie,
do you think
how would
rookie?
you? Well, I would say,
I'll open the door.
have you thought about opening the door? Wow, that's a real interesting perspective.
Yeah, but it really toes the line between there was an episode, I can't remember specifically, but we were talking about it the other day, where it's like
you can't remember any of the details.
I know, but I wanted to talk about it. That's why I'm trying to find the synopsis.
Okay.
But it hits on every kind of like just middle America demographic. Right. It's like it weaves in and out of the episode. There's drug use and don't do drugs, and then they met like a veteran, and then they thank the troops and whatever. And this is a corrupt cop, and it's just everything that like you could possibly think that like a normie would.
Oh yeah, right.
I say that like to be disparaging.
You're watching
it sounds
though.
disparaging. Yeah, I'm watching it exactly, and we're talking about it. So,
and that's the best promo this show can get. This wildly successful show that's been going for 10 years or whatever.
Yeah,
we're really pushing it into the stratosphere here.
Also, I watched The Gorge.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah.
All right, great. So this, for people who don't know, it's Anya Taylor-Joy and Miles Teller. They're at opposite ends of a gorge.
Yeah.
And they're working for the government or something.
Yeah.
To look after the gorge, and there's monsters in the gorge. And then they fall in the gorge.
They fall
in the
love.
And
they fall in the love.
That's great.
So they fall in the love before they fall in the gorge. And what's in the gorge?
Is it monsters?
Do you want me to spoil it?
No.
Okay.
No, I think listeners probably wouldn't want to be
No,
spoiled.
I meant for you. People can skip ahead.
No, tell me later.
All right.
It's fine.
Tell you later.
You tell me later.
You want an off-air conversation
yes,
about
because
the gorge?
Collings would have to edit it if you spoil it now.
He's not going to watch the gorge.
And Collings would also maybe.
He's not watching the gorge.
Now, also, what I would.
Collings, you watching the gorge? Beep once for yes.
He's not listening to this live.
Yeah, but he'll put it in, and then when I listen to it,
oh, I see, right,
which I will, then I'll know.
Okay, great.
Whether he's watched the gorge.
Now,
two beeps for no.
Now, this is a return for Anya Taylor-Joy of chess, right?
Oh yeah, that's
she
true.
was in the Queen's Gambit.
Yeah.
And then
Miles Teller plays drums in it as well.
What? They got all their interests
Whiplash.
in there. Wow.
So this is Scott Derrickson who did the Hello Phone or whatever it is.
Black Phone.
Black Phone, which I liked. He did Did he do the first Doctor Strange, or did he end up getting kicked off?
Maybe he did an Ant-Man one. He did one of those.
Yeah, no, he got kicked off Doctor Strange 2. I liked Doctor Strange. I like his movies. But this one I was kind of like,
okay,
good performances.
Okay.
I guess.
Is it because what was in the gorge ultimately was not as interesting?
Yeah, that's part of it.
The what was in the gorge in your imagination.
That's part of it, I would say.
Right, uh-huh.
Yeah. So again, because you don't want me to spoil it.
I don't want you to spoil it for Collins and the listeners.
Care.
Yeah.
Again, they can skip. We spoil shit all the time. We just spoiled something earlier, and there's time codes if they wanted to skip it.
Sometimes somebody is driving their car off a cliff or whatever, or into a gorge, and we're about to say a spoilery thing, and they simply cannot take their hands off the wheel and put them over their ears and go la la.
But they're dying. They're going to die.
They might be in a no la 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 zone. You know what I mean?
Okay. But if they're dying because they're just driving into a gorge,
you don't know that for sure.
What?
Did the characters in the gorge die when they went into the gorge?
Yes.
What?
They died straight away.
Oh no!
Now you've spoiled the gorge.
Oh no!
How do you feel about that?
Good.
Yeah.
Feel powerful.
Collins feels good about it too because he's not watching the gorge. I forbid it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Should we move it along?
Let's move it along.
To what? I wish I remember that episode of The Rookie.
I mean,
we literally talked about it because you came around and I was watching it and you went, I remember this episode.
No, I didn't.
And then we talked about it.
Maybe I should watch Blue Bloods or something.
Yeah,
anyway,
something.
It's time for letters.
Or something.
Yeah, it's time for letters. I'll put some letters theme in here.
The classic one was letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away. You know they're here right now. We're going to do letters.
Well, let's go.
Let's go.
It's time to get the show started. More so
Even
than it was. If you don't want to reach the show, it's simple. You just shoot Mason an email, weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com.
That's right.
Or go into the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates group where every week we put up a little thread. And then there's all sorts of questions and things that you can ask there or put a letter and then we'll do that one.
That's right.
Then we do that one. What do you got this week, Mason?
There's an email from Zack. Hey guys, been a fan of the podcast for years now and a fan of the Mr. Sunday Movies YouTube channel for even longer.
That's an incredible channel and I recommend everybody check it out.
Terrific.
This week, Electra.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Extended.
Oh. I just got out of watching The Monkey,
Oh,
the new film by Oz Perkins. Yeah, we know.
we wore it.
Based on the Stephen King short story, We Know, and had a really fun time. Got me thinking of my favorite Stephen King novels and short stories, and was wondering if you guys had any favorites. James, I'm including movies and TV shows.
Sure.
And stuff. What's your favorite?
Doctor Sleep's really good.
Oh, yeah,
I know The
that's-
Shining is good, but also Doctor Sleep is a good sequel.
It's also a
somehow.
miracle that it was any good, considering it's a sequel to, what is largely considered to be a classic. Like,
Yep.
just go back to that well and make another good one.
Yep.
Will you? Okay.
Even though
terrific.
and Stephen King did remake The Shining.
Yeah.
It also has a moment because it's about I'm going to spoil this one bit where it's a grown up Danny. He's played by Ewan McGregor, and he's got the Shining power, so he can use mind telepathy powers to like.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of other people who they're like roaming vampire people who like steal the powers, steal like the energy and essence of people. So they're like, okay, we're gonna have a big mind showdown in the woods. So they drive out into the woods, and Ewan McGregor turns up with another guy and just starts shooting them all with a gun.
That's right.
And it's amazing.
Yeah. Didn't
Very-
think of that, did you? Mind vampires.
Yeah. What about you?
I mean, we did talk about The Mist, but I
Oh, it's great.
quite enjoyed it. Again, doesn't end the same way as the short story.
How does the short story end?
Well, spoilers for a
Oh,
short story
we're
from the
spoiling this, are we?
Yeah, the short story.
Oh, okay.
A short story from like 1980. Yes, we are. No, at the end of The Mist, the short story, the main guy, he just
Mr. Mist.
the mist hasn't cleared, and then he hears on the shortwave radio.
The mist is cleared. The mist cleared, actually.
Yeah, exactly. No, he hears on the radio. There's some chatter from another town. He's like, oh, maybe there's no monsters in the next town over, and he's like,
Oh.
I'm gonna. So it ends in kind of like,
Yeah.
it ends like The Quiet Place. Is how it ends.
Great.
Yeah.
But in the movie,
In the movie, boy.
it's Thomas Jane.
Oh, we okay. Let's talk. This movie came in
We
a
can
long
spoil
time.
this one
I
as
think
well,
we can
can
spoil
we?
this one. It came in a long time. If you don't want to be
fucking
spoiled
guy.
by the movie The Mist,
Won't even spoil the gorge.
That's
a movie
right.
he's not even going to watch.
does the gorge have mist in it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, mate.
So for people who don't remember the movie The Mist, it's set in a sleepy New England town.
Yep.
Classic Stephen King setting.
Oh, yeah.
And then one night, I should say rather, this sort of all-encompassing pea soup style mist rolls in.
You might even call it a fog.
Oh,
but
that's
you
so
wouldn't.
true.
It's a mist.
And also The Fog is already a movie.
Yeah, it's
right?
already a movie.
But then not only is it a mist, you can't see it foot in front of you, but also it's filled with horrible monsters
Yep.
beyond human comprehension. That all
Where are they from?
Another dimension.
Seems that way.
Because it turns out there's a military base, and they were experimenting with dimensional portals, and they cracked one open, and all these monsters spilled out, and
It sucks in there.
Yeah, it sucks in there, and everybody's like, "How do we get out of the mist?" Blah blah blah, and then. A lot of the townsfolk get slaughtered, and some
Yeah.
people start a cult or whatever.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, Thomas
They're driving
Jane,
in the mist.
yeah, there's Thomas Jane, Marcia Gay Harden, and a little kid who's probably an adult actor now. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they're in a car, and they're just like, we're gonna keep driving. We're gonna see if the mist ends.
We're just going to
anyway.
go.
Just gonna go, and then the car runs out of gas, and they're parked by the side of the road, and they hear this rumbling, which
There's huge monsters as
earlier
well.
in the movie, it sort of suggests the rumbling suggests like huge monsters are approaching, and they're gonna get you,
And
they're
the
gonna
mist
kill
is
you.
at the whole world now.
Yeah,
like,
who knows? And they have a gun and 2 bullets. So Thomas Jane kills the woman and the kid. You don't
Yeah.
see it, but you see him afterwards go, I didn't like this.
Yeah.
Didn't like doing this. Just to be clear, I didn't like killing the
I didn't miss.
Oh, and then he gets out of the car to accept his fate being torn to shreds by a bunch of monsters, and then it turns out it was actually the military showing up from another town.
Oh,
they've
and the
got-
mist rolls away.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
right.
It turns out maybe they'd been traveling with the mist.
yeah.
Like as the mist was moving, they were moving with it.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's and
Anyway,
then
it's a real downer.
yeah, it really is. Anyway, in terms of other Stephen King adaptations, Shawshank Redemption is obviously
yep.
incredible. Misery's great. All of the versions of it. People like the Green Mile, don't they? Did I say Misery? Remember 1408? That was one. Carrie.
Yeah. My favorite.
Harry.
Yeah, my favorite Stephen King work is The Running Man, when he was writing as Richard Bachman.
I'm running, man.
And that's the one that's being adapted, I think, by Edgar Wright, and it's going to have
Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell in it.
Stand By Me.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah,
That's a good
that's a
one.
great one. God, that's a classic.
I've
Okay.
read a few short stories and I've read it, but I wouldn't say I've read a lot of his stuff.
You should read The Running Man. It's different than the movie.
I'm out of breath.
It's way more grounded.
I'm the running man.
and it's more like it's. I can't remember when it came. I'm gonna figure out when it came. I'm gonna figure it out when it came out.
yeah, this guy's gonna figure it out.
That it's James. It predicts reality TV in a way like years in advance. 1982. It
Whoa.
came out. and it really predicts like this idea of like death is entertainment and etc. And I think it's going to be. And again, I think we mentioned this before. There's a movie called Series 7, The Contenders, which is it's not an adaptation of that, but that is way closer to the original book than the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie is. So, I hope this new version's a little more,
Less spandex.
less spandex.
Okay, that's coming out this year, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Good letter, Mason. This is from Steve. Says, Dear James and Mason, do you agree with me that in Captain America 4 it would have been better if Ross had it intentionally this is a spoiler, I guess, for that movie.
I'm against spoilers.
I think it had an okay drop-off. Not great, not...
That means everyone's seen it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it'll break even.
Okay.
It'll crawl over.
If the spoiler is General Ross turns in the Red Hulk,
yeah.
they should have kept that out of the trailers.
I think
Because the whole movie builds to
it's just that, yeah. I think also because there's nothing else coming out for a while, nothing this big, so it could just limp along. But I don't think it's going to be a smash hit. Yeah. If Ross had intentionally undergone the Hulk treatment to save his life from heart problems and the pills was to suppress his Hulk powers rather than create it, having the Hulk powers forced on him in secret makes so much less impactful than it could have been. I think that's a good point. Also, go on.
Also, I saw this pointed out on the internet recently that, again, spoilers for Captain America, that...
Spoiling this, but we're not spoiling the Gorge.
Or the Rookie.
Because we can't.
That's right. That, the movie ends with Liv Tyler's Betty Ross arriving at the raft, whereas she should have been in the scene with the where he's fighting, with Captain America's fighting the Red Hulk.
I mean, did they do that already?
Yeah, they did.
Her job is to turn up and go, Hulk, stop.
Also, apparently, we won't belabor the point, but there's a character in that movie that's been largely cut out for a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
And apparently, in the original versions, it was her idea to It was her idea. She gives Captain America the idea of how to stop the Hulk, which I think is funny because it would just be a moment in the movie where she goes, "Hey, Captain America, tell him to remember who he is." And he goes, "Great, thanks for that.
I will.
Hey, remember who you are."
Also, didn't I bring him here to these cherry blossoms specifically for that?
Yep.
Yeah, but say it.
Yeah, say it though. Yeah. Don't forget to say it.
You gotta say it. Yeah, good movie. I saw someone say, I read it in a Reddit. I cannot credit this person, but I think at the end when he's giving Second Falcon a little pep talk about like, you're great. And I always wanted to be you. I think it would have been fun if Scott Lang had a cameo there.
Yes.
I just think, I think that I would have given that movie 10% more credit.
Okay, great. Terrific.
For a fun little moment. Yeah. We're going to assemble the Avengers. Which ones? I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, did you see it was apparently the intergalactic, interdimensional Illuminati was who that the big-headed guy was referring to apparently.
Sure.
So that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. We saw the Illuminati, but they all got killed. So this is a different Illuminati.
Oh, this would be a different Illuminati, but the Illuminati traditionally in the Marvel Universe includes Iron Man, who's already dead.
Yeah, to be a different dimension.
Fantastic Four, Reed Richards, who's not in the universe yet, and assorted others. Namor, who's not really a presence in this universe. He's there, but he's not like...
Didn't he get in a fight with Black Panther?
Yeah, and then he went back down to the ocean.
I'm going back to the water. This sucks.
Agreed.
I don't even want to do a fight.
Agreed. Hey,
Yeah.
James, here's an email from Matthias. Hey, James and Meso. I just opened my own pub in Budapest, Hungary.
Very nice.
You truly helped me through the time when we did all the remodeling and renovations. You're always in my ear while we put in place the new electric system.
And we were on the tools also, weren't we?
Yeah, we're on the tools. Built the new furniture. That's what we did.
You're welcome.
It'd be really cool to meet some Hungarian great mates there for a drink. I've yet to find another of my fellow countrymen who listens to you. We are called Fuelis, F-U with an umlaut over the top, L-E-S, near Moscow Square. Hungarians will know. If you boys are in Hungary ever, the first round is on me.
Mate, I'm always bloody hungry.
Just the first round?
Yeah,
Just the
come on,
first round, mate. I mean, we did help you with electricals and the plastering.
And we're doing this free promo.
We're doing this. That's right. Can I be the official barkeep of the podcast?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Mate, mate, first round's on you.
Yeah.
First round's on you, mate.
That's awesome, though. Good for you.
That's
well
exciting.
done. Yeah. We've got Hungarian listeners. I mean, we've got one. I was just going to try and bring up the stats to see how many we've got.
Oh, you got those figures?
I probably
You got those
could,
figs?
Yeah, it'd take me a minute to find
Okay, well,
it.
I'll give you one more email.
Oh, I don't mind if I do.
Okay. Alex emails to say, hello, James and Meso.
Hi, Alex.
How are you both doing?
Great.
Great, also great. I've been listening to the pod since the BVS trailer breakdown days.
Whoa, that's a long time.
I wasn't sure what to ask you specifically, so I thought I'd ask you 3 questions and you can pick.
Okay.
James, we're doing all 3.
All right.
1, what is your go-to fish and chips order?
Chips.
Just chips.
One chips, please.
One chips. Minimum chips?
Minimum chips, potato
Or
cakes.
maximum chips, thank you.
Minimum chips, potato cake, grilled flake. I prefer batter, but I get grilled.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I don't normally get a salad or a dim sim or anything like that. What do you get?
I'll get...
Get a crab stick?
Well, I'll certainly get a flat... No, absolutely not will I get a crab stick. I had a half
You
lobster the
stupid
other
crab
day from a
stick
place. There's a
based
place
idiot.
in Melbourne that did the seafood place. I had one the other day. It was real nice.
Yeah.
For the boiling crab. You ever been there?
No.
Okay. Little plug for them. First round's on them, not me. My order will be, it'll be a piece of flake, obviously. I'll switch between grilled and fried,
Okay.
depending on my
Depending
mood.
on how you're feeling?
Yep. I need at least 2 potato cakes. Sometimes I will skip chips.
Yeah.
You always need chips, I'd find.
I agree. I like potato cakes a lot. I could just eat potato cakes.
Ah, potato cakes. If it's a group, yes, chips, absolutely.
Yes, chips.
But otherwise, just potato cakes.
Yeah.
And a fried Mars bar.
And a fried Mars bar.
If they do one, but I'll order it later because, you don't want to order it straight away because then it'll be a cold Mars bar covered in batter. You don't want that. That will kill you and it will also taste bad. So
in Hungary, there's 360 downloads this past 30 days.
Okay.
So not our biggest demographic.
okay, so that's divided by 4, I guess.
Yeah.
So there might be as many as 90 listeners, and if they all went to this bar, they could save the bar and the rec center.
I was going to be like, their population's probably not that big. It's 9.5 million. So
Oh yeah.
we need to get our numbers up in Hungary,
I
man.
think so too.
What the
yeah.
hell's happening
Yeah,
here?
yeah. Can we do some Hungary-specific content, perhaps?
Very good. Yum, yum, yum. I could eat anything right now.
James, no.
Let's get over to
I
Turkey.
mean, this fish and chips question is very Hungary-specific.
Yeah, that's good, man.
It's good when I do that. James.
Why is yours okay and mine's not okay?
Mine's better.
I
think.
guess it is.
What's
What's another thing? What's another question?
Oh,
You
is a
said you
second.
do 3.
I feel like I'm missing something in my fish and chip order.
Sauce,
No.
tartare sauce,
No.
crab
no,
stick,
no,
dimmy.
No.
Someone had the absolute gall to correct us the other day on the YouTube channel when they said, you said dim sim, but it's dim sum.
No.
Idiot.
Dim sum's a different thing.
Different.
Every nation has dim sum.
Yeah, we
but only
know that.
Australia and potentially New Zealand has dim sims, which are a weird copy of a copy of a copy of dim sum.
Yeah.
It's just the one thing.
It's a weird scrotum
Dim sum is
thing.
a variety of
Yeah,
dishes.
yeah.
And you get little plates of things. Dim sims are one thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I might get if they have like a crumbed prawn.
You do a
couple
crumbed prawn.
of crumbed prawns.
Bloody crumbed
Second
prawn.
question. What do you think some celebrities never crack the US, like Robbie Williams or even Kylie Minogue?
Some people just don't like other people.
Yeah, that's so true.
Some
isn't it?
shit just doesn't
Yeah,
translate.
yeah. I also think with something like Kylie Minogue as well,
She's always spinning around
she's always spinning
and
around.
vomiting.
Yes, that's true. I feel like what is happening with a lot of Australian pop stars, I think,
Yeah.
pop acts and what have you, is a lot of the time the pop producers in Australia are copying what they see in the US. So by
Absolutely.
the time it gets
That
to
is very
I'm not
true.
saying specifically Kylie Minogue, who I think is great, but
Yeah.
and she's often done her own thing. So
Yeah.
specifically, I don't know what it is. with
That's
Kylie
not her
Minogue.
specifically.
It's
yeah.
probably the spinning around and vomiting.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably, and then so what happens is these Australian pop stars show up in America with the thing that's already like several levels out
Yeah,
of date already.
exactly.
And they're like, well, this isn't fresh and new. This is
Yeah.
kind of like,
I remember like Guy Sebastian
yeah.
tried it there and he recorded an album where Elvis recorded his album.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing different than anybody else?
I mean, you're just doing Elvis.
Yeah, man.
We all-
Yeah, I don't know. It's also it's also contacts. You
Yeah.
know, they've got their own industry and
That's true.
some things translate and just some things don't.
3, if you had a time machine and could stop any movie, TV show from being made, what would it be? And yes, that's what I would do with the time machine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You wouldn't get a time machine and go and visit Hitler and say hello?
No.
You wouldn't say hello, good job?
To Hitler?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't
Good,
say
I
that.
would hope so.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That would be
bad.
an easy trap for me to fall into, but I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I think he did a bad job.
I agree. God, to stop something.
Yeah.
Would it result in something else happening though?
That's a great question.
Because that's what
isn't
I'd
it?
want to do, like stop something from happening so another better thing would happen.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know what that would look like.
Yeah, okay.
I kind of want to see what George Lucas would have done with the sequel trilogy. I don't think it would have been better. I
Oh,
just
so
would
you
have been
can't. So in
interested.
this instance, you cancel the existing sequel trilogy so hard that George Lucas has to step in and make his own.
No, you do
version.
it before they bought it, so that he's just like, because that
Oh.
was his plan. He was going to make at least the first one,
Yeah, right. Okay.
and I just think people would have screamed at him.
Mm.
Like, I don't think that would have gone well at all. I think people would have been really upset about it. Yeah, no matter what he did, but it would have been interesting and probably bad.
So true.
But it would have been interesting. What about you? What would you cancel? Was there anything that you're like, God, I wish that didn't exist? Or would it be like an adaptation of something that was like, oh, you fucked that, and now we can't have it
Have
anymore?
a good one. You're absolutely... Yeah, I think that is actually a great idea, and it probably would be something like that.
Yeah. We can't get a good death of Superman for a while.
I mean, maybe it'd be the old Dungeons and Dragons movies.
Oh,
like
okay.
maybe, I mean, I think it would probably be something where
I'd cancel the new one.
it might be it might be a Transformers movie.
That's a good choice.
But see that they are
so you just the sequel.
the first one. I mean, yeah,
No, I know, yeah.
They're technically quite well made and they look good. It's just they're bad movies. So maybe if they cancelled, and that's the thing, and that's to what you're saying there is that because so many of them are just the first 5 are so painfully bad that nobody watches the new ones and they get cancelled. So if you cancel the first one and we wait a couple of years and then somebody else makes it.
Yeah.
Maybe the good ones. Maybe somebody makes Bumblebee as the first one.
Absolutely.
And maybe people are like Transformers live action. That's incredible. I better watch that. And then it's a huge hit.
And then we get 19 good movies.
Yeah. Good on Michael Bay. Good on him.
Yeah, good on him.
Good on him.
What about this one? From Jack Hargraves. Says, is anyone else getting frustrated? Thank you for 3 good questions. Is anyone else? Some people can't even get one out.
So true.
That's a shot at everybody else who sent an email this week.
That's right.
I haven't been into the email bag, but that's presumably what Mason thinks.
So correct.
Is anyone else getting frustrated with the depiction of power levels / abilities in Invincible this season? It seems wildly inconsistent with what Mark and the others are capable of when it comes to fighting. Mark struggled with those giant insects, but the cyborgs turn up and he holds them back with ease. But Mark can defeat an army of cyborgs without much struggle. Really bothers me for some reason. Well, he does get stronger, and that happens in the comics as well. He gets bigger and stronger as it goes.
I'm not up to date on Invincible, so
It's great. Machine Head turns up in the latest episode, who I think is fun because he's got that. It's the dude from Burn Notice.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And he's
Jeffrey
got
Donovan.
Yeah, and he's got an auto-tune voice.
Okay.
But you don't remember that? It was in season 1, I think.
I can't remember.
When Invincible gets like beaten up by Battle Beast because
Machine
Head hires him. Anyway, I think this is just across comics.
Yeah.
Villains and heroes are just as strong as they need to be.
Absolutely, yeah.
But no, I understand the frustration. There is no like Superman. Sometimes kryptonite will kill him and knock him down. Other times he can lift a big island of it. It doesn't.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's whatever it has to be.
It's whatever it needs to be for the drama, you know.
Yeah.
And I would say the more iconic the character, the more their power levels.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes Spider-Man has trouble, you know, like fighting some muggers or whatever, but then he has to draw upon a big well of strength to lift a bridge or whatever. And even though logically it's the bridge weighs 100 tons and he couldn't, but he can just do it.
He can just do it. Yeah. Captain America can hold a helicopter.
But what I would say though is that Invincible is sort of a comic written in the modern era, and you would think that the writers of that would kind of be aware that people apply that level of scrutiny to those characters and would make it.
I've never had a problem with it in the show, but then again, maybe because I'm just enjoying it, so I'm not thinking about it. But I think the thing with Invincible and the character's Invincible as well, he's not invulnerable.
Right.
Like, unlike Superman, you can like cut his head off.
Yes.
Like it's not.
Yeah.
So there's a level of durability which they don't have, which I think factors into him getting hurt.
Right.
So even if he fights somebody who's technically stronger than, if they hit him hard enough, that will still.
Yeah. And also, I
really
think maybe, and again, I haven't watched this season, but like he is still a relatively new guy.
Yeah.
And strength isn't always the deciding factor. Like maybe he just makes bad decisions.
He does.
He makes
absolutely.
mistakes kind of thing, you know.
Definitely. Anyway, no, I get it.
Oh, yeah.
I get it, Jack.
Oh,
What do you got, Mason?
Here's one more email. This is from Okan.
Okan?
Love the pod. Been listening for over 10.
Okan!
Nice. He's gonna love that.
I think so.
Been listening for over 10 years. A lot of old heads over here.
Yeah, man.
About 2 years ago, I started the job I'm currently at, basically working as a prop maker for a retail company.
Sick.
A couple of weeks back, we're cutting close on a deadline. I was in my workshop working and listening to James Rant's video on YouTube. It's 4 hours long.
Classic.
Are you aware of this?
Classic, man.
What I didn't realize at the time was my supervisor's supervisor was visiting and heard me cackling while James was having one of his classic rants. So after the project was finished, I'm told that I'm not allowed to watch or listen to stuff that's distracting. I really like my job, and my boss is actually pretty cool about this stuff. So it sucks that even though I was working hard at the time now, I'm only allowed to listen to music. So thanks to you both for getting me into trouble.
That's not my fault.
No, I agree.
That's not my fault, Mason.
It's not your fault.
That's pretty funny. Imagine walking in on that.
What if you find music very humorous, though?
Yeah, what if you do?
Yeah,
did he? So he didn't
it's not
say
like you cut your thumb off.
He didn't say it was on speaker, did he?
Doesn't say that.
Because maybe he was listening to it out loud.
Maybe.
Yeah. Unless got caught lying on the floor at work.
At this job?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, every week you catch me.
Occasionally have a job like that. Like I remember I had a job once where everybody like in the back was allowed to listen to whatever music they wanted.
So everybody was just listening to just blaring different music.
Well, no,
at all time.
everybody kept it quiet, but then they got a new hire and he just like one of those guys that shows up and he just plays really, really loud metal music at like absolute maximum volume, and the next day it's like can't listen to your own music anymore. You got to listen to Gold 104 or whatever, Fox FM.
Some guy ruin it for everybody.
There's always one guy, and in this case, it's this guy.
Yeah.
Ruined it for himself.
That's right, he did.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's not your fault, James.
No, it is. I was lying on the floor because I was trying to prank somebody because they left the room, and I'm like, I'll lie on the floor to be funny, and they'll
Classic
come back.
prank.
Because I was climbing something, and they're like, what if you
What
fall?
job was this?
I was working at a bookstore. It doesn't matter.
Okay, right.
They're like, it'd be funny if you fell and died. And I'm like, that would be funny. And then he left, and then I heard him coming back, and I go, I'll fucking lie on the floor so it looks like I died.
Nice.
And I scattered some boxes. Anyway, the boss walked in. I'm like, fuck. And he goes, James, don't get up. And he just like keeps going up. And I couldn't be like, I was doing it.
You should have been like, I can't, I'm dead.
I died.
I died though.
I'm going to sue you.
Yeah, I'm going to sue you. I'll be rich. I'll be rich enough to buy some podcasting
Pour the money
equipment.
into my grave.
That's right.
What about this, Mason, from Connor? Hey, James and Mason, currently waiting in the labour ward with my fiance for the birth of our first daughter.
When was that sent?
This was, it'll be done by the time
Well,
this
you'd
is
hope
out.
so.
Yeah.
Is this like days ago?
No, this was recent. I posted this today. So,
Okay.
yeah. We're both huge fans of the podcast, and listening to this episode has been getting us through the last couple of days in hospital. Thanks for making this stressful time a little bit easier. Best of luck. I hope it went very well for both of you.
Yes.
Let us know, unless you don't want to, in which case you don't have to,
That's
obviously.
right.
But, yeah, thank you for the kind words.
Okay, I got one more email here from Jamie.
Jamie?
Dear James and Meso, both I and the subject of this message, Handsome Dan, have been proud listeners for years, never missing an episode.
Is he ironically handsome?
I'll
or
tell
is
you
he
in a
actually
moment,
handsome?
James.
Okay.
Never missing an episode since our mutual discovery of the pod while working in a restaurant together in our hometown of Cockermouth. In the UK, back in early 2014. We immediately went back to the start, listened to every episode, and haven't missed one since. Dan is a couple of years younger than me, 10 times as handsome, and just an all-round nice guy. He's an artist, videographer, DJ, and a crazy good chef.
Whoa.
Dan's like a brother to me, and for the last 10 years, I've been living vicariously through him. Dan's recently made the decision to make the next big step in his life and is moving to Australia this week, most likely for good, as you won't want to give him back. I would just want Dan to know we're all rooting for him. He's a religious listener to the show, and I know he will have this latest episode downloaded for his flight. Hopefully you guys see this so he can hear his name on his favourite weekly pastime and know how much he'll be missed back home. Forever a fan, Jamie.
Hell yeah, we're getting a handsome guy.
P.S. Instagram links for proof of handsomeness. I can't click this, James, because it is a screenshot. You go to Scran with Dan.
What is
on
it,
Instagram,
sorry?
Scran with Dan.
Do we want to give that out to everybody?
Yeah.
Scran.
I think he's a public figure. Yeah, and we're blowing up his spot, James.
Yeah, man, this dude's handsome as hell.
Yeah, and look at all the stuff he's making.
Oh, he's got great foods here.
That's what I'm saying.
He's doing turkey burgers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Great stuff.
Anyway, good luck to Dan.
Also,
We'll see you at the movies.
I'm sure both of you are handsome.
And also, first round's on you, Dan. First round of focaccia.
Scran.
First round of focaccia he's got here. First round's on you, buddy.
Damn.
That's right.
That looks really good, that focaccia.
Mm-hmm.
Forget about it.
Yep.
Don't you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with you.
I've actually got one here, Mason.
Okay, go on.
Alex Funder says, have you ever painted your nails? And if so, what color? Oh, yeah, I have a 4-year-old daughter, so yeah.
Oh, you have to,
I've painted my nails. I've
Yeah.
had them painted in multiple times. And I just leave it, just like walking
Yeah,
around.
I haven't, but...
It's whatever she wants. I don't care.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't, but what color?
Black,
No.
green,
Black would make me look too washed out.
gravy.
Charcoal.
Gravy.
Maybe gravy brown.
Gravy brown fingers.
And when I dip my fingers in the gravy, I can be like, it's just my nails. It's not because I've been eating gravy from a bowl with my fingers. You've convinced me, James. Gravy brown.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Is that the show?
Folks, that is the whole show. Thank you so much for listening. We absolutely appreciate it. Thank you for telling your friends about it.
Hell yeah.
Because that is how we get new listeners. And thank you for leaving a 5-star review on your podcast app of choice. If you do so, James will read it out on the podcast.
It's true. BS Moley, who says more subtle than you think. This used to be a podcast where two hosts would just slightly squeeze the word grub into casual but informative comic book movie conversation. Now, however, it is a podcast where the two hosts try to subtly slip the word crook into these conversations. Either way, they've earned 5 stars. Must be nice.
And let me tell you, it's not subtle.
No, it's not. And this is from I Mistake Everything for Applebee's, who says, a happy little accident. I thought this was an Applebee's.
I like it. It's probably like a joke.
Like a joke? You don't think that's a joke?
It's like a joke.
Too good for this joke?
It can be a joke
For
and
this
also
review
like a
that
joke.
somebody went out of
it
their
is
way
a
to do.
review that's like a joke.
Okay.
So,
All right. You got me, Mason.
That's exactly right.
And that's what I like about you. You always get me and make me feel bad.
That's so true. Folks, if you want to get into contact with us, you can go to weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com. You can go to the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group or the Weekly Planet Podcast subreddit and Discord. Somebody on...
Scram with Dan doesn't even follow us on Instagram.
Wow. That's low.
I should follow him and then unfollow him.
That's right.
I'm going to do that now
Yeah.
just to get his attention.
More like Disgusting Dan.
Now I'm unfollowing
Also,
him.
thank you for discussing film for following me finally on Twitter.
Oh, finally.
I'll follow you back at some point.
Please.
And the guy behind Discussing Film.
Yeah, he's cool too.
So he seems cool.
He is cool.
You can go to the. Somebody asked recently, how do you get onto the Weekly Planet Podcast Discord? And my answer is, I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
I don't.
What even is that?
I've never even been on Discord. I don't know
what is it even?
Let's see. Thank you to Fidel and Maisie and Sarabi for moderating the forums, keeping it all ship shape. If you want some fun, civil conversation about podcasts and pop culture, you can do it over there. And thank you to them for also making TikTok videos and Weekly Planet Clips channels. Fidel does video editing for our video game Let's Plays. Right. Doing a great job over there. If you want to follow some people on the socials, follow our friend Rob Collins. He's at Rob Collins on Twitter. He's at The Weekly Planet on Twitter. He'll keep you up to date on all things The Weekly Planet. Please don't spoil him with regards to The Gorge.
Yeah.
As I have it on good authority, he's going to watch The Gorge.
He doesn't have that on any authority. Nobody's contacting him about anything, let alone
I'm hoping
this.
he watches The Gorge.
Why do you want him to watch The Gorge?
I heard it's all
you
right.
You should message him.
I heard it was okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Great.
The Gorge.
The Gorge. Is it a big spoiler?
The Gorge?
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
It's not a big spoiler. You'd see it and go, oh, yeah.
Interesting.
That's
all
the
right,
Gorge. That's the Gorge.
That's right.
That's what you say.
Nice.
That's the Gorge.
You can follow me on Twitter at Wikipedia Random, on Instagram, Nick Maso. James is Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere. If you want to support the show, you go to patreon.com/Mr. Sunday Movies. You chuck in $1 or any amount you would not miss. Or you go to bigsandwich.co, sign up for $9 per month, bonus podcasts, video game Let's Plays, early videos, all sorts of stuff, crazy stuff. It's crazy.
Do some free giveaways of that just from people.
Oh, yeah, we could do that.
I don't know how we do that or why, but we should.
How about this? First round's on them. Big sandwich.
Yeah?
This is payola. We're doing it for payola.
I like that. Okay, yeah.
Or a reverse payola? I'm not sure.
Reverse payola.
Or a different thing we've invented.
You said you wanted people to beg.
No, I didn't.
You wanted people to beg for you in the street.
Sounds awful.
For a membership.
I can't even give them out. I don't even know how it works.
Yeah, but you still want them to do that.
Yeah.
So if you see Mason.
Yeah, just drop to your knees and beg. Yeah.
Loudly.
Sounds
and make
awful.
sure you're very clear about what it is that you want. So it creates a scene and people are like, what is this?
Yeah, a big sandwich.
A subscription service for a podcast.
Yeah.
What?
Why would anyone want that, they would say? This is so puzzling. As an innocent bystander, I don't understand.
All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you to the Brute and the Bastards
what
for
are we
ranking for all the
doing
musical themes. If you want a t-shirt, you go to tpublic.com, search for The Weekly Planet or Weekly Planet posters. Why not?
Checking it.
That's where all the best stuff is.
Yeah, man.
Next week, a different thing, a TV show or a movie. What a wonderful time.
Yeah. Captain America 4. Daredevil's out the week after. I don't know, man. We'll do something.
Figure something out. Probably some garbage on streaming.
Always.
That's right.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Now, James, let's get in the TARDIS.
Okay.
Whoa.
Pretty good.
Whoa.
Pretty good. I like how the inside of the TARDIS looks like the room that we podcast in. Because it is.
Can make it look like anything.
I guess you can.
Okay, grab it, Jam. You guys. Bye.
Bye.